Hello, everybody. Welcome to NFTV. We are live on Wednesday night. A little new series that me and Carl have been putting together for, well, the idea was a couple of weeks back, wasn't it, Carl?
Yeah, it was. Really excited to kick it off.
So as you can see, it's very original. The Influencer. I'm sure Paul's not going to be called that.
No.
The aim is for our new series is we're going to get online personalities from the world of YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook. Ask them just about their own personal experiences of life on the internet. If they're a Newcastle fan, fantastic. We're not always just getting the Toon fans on, but we'll be a mixture. So here we go, everybody. Paul, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. Thanks
Paul,
for having us on.
My pleasure. We've been keeping an eye on the Burnley game tonight. Kind of done with favour. At least Fulham didn't win.
Yeah.
But it's coming up to we're just past mid-February and we're already looking at other teams' results. Do you think we're going to stay up?
Yeah, I do. I've said it for a while now. I think we'll stay up. I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a hard end of the season. But I do genuinely believe we'll stay up by the skin of our teeth. I don't want to go into the last game against Fulham having to get something. We've been down that road before at Villa and stuff like that. I don't want that to happen again. But I think we'll just have enough.
Carl, do you think we'll stay up?
I'm really worried. I think we've just spoken about it briefly, and I think, usually we're talking about goal difference and things, but having a in-depth look at Fulham's run of games, they've got a couple of favourable ones coming up right now, but after that, they've got a really difficult run as well, probably more difficult than what we've got. So I wouldn't say I'm confident, but there's definitely opportunity for us to stay up 100%, and we need to grab that by the horns immediately, to be honest. But I am worried nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not too worried just yet. I think the Man United game, I don't think we'll get out this weekend, and then we'll look at those 4 or 5 fixtures coming up, which I think are winnable games. Easier said than done, of course. Paul, what do you make of? Because you're quite vocal, which we'll come on to a little bit later on. What do you make of Steve Bruce's reign at Newcastle so far?
Not very good. I think a lot of people know my feelings on him, but I don't know. He just doesn't inspire anybody. He doesn't inspire anybody in his press conferences or when he speaks to anybody. We were led to believe that he was this fantastic guy when he came into the club and that he's such a gentleman and things like that. Yet he keeps having these little remarks about the fans in press conferences and things like that. And I genuinely think he's making them because, the fans aren't there to have a go at him back, really, either. So he can get away with saying what he wants at the minute. I just think it's disappointing that there is such a massive gap between a manager and the supporters of the club. I mean, we've had some bad managers in the past, but for me, he's got to be one of the worst. He's just got he doesn't inspire anybody. He's got no confidence in doing anything. He can't change the match as it's going on. He's very inept with tactics and substitutions, and I just think we could do so much better for the size of the club we are.
Yeah, I think me and Carl both echo that as well. We should be a lot higher, even with the caliber of players. I know people get on about Mike Ashley and so on, but this set of squad of players should not be sitting in 17th place, looking over our shoulders, worrying about what Fulham do. Although Fulham aren't winning many games, I think thankfully there is a few teams worse than us. Thankfully, but you talked about that as well. You took a couple of things you mentioned there, Paul. Obviously, you can see a picture there where we got beat on the weekend. Well, I say weekend, it was Monday. But what do you make of these death threats? Because 2 weeks earlier, he said that he was getting fan mail.
Yeah. I don't. Well, to be honest, I think any kind of online abuse is abhorrent in my eyes. It's disgusting. It's cowardly. I don't know about death threats. I mean, if any of my family or friends' family received death threats, they'd go straight to the police. And a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, the police don't do anything, etc." with death threats. Well, I know firsthand because my dad was a policeman. I do know that they take these things very, very seriously. And if any of my family received them, they'd be straight to the police. I don't see the point of his son going on a national radio station and pouring his heart out about all these threats. Yet he didn't confirm any single death threats. He said that, yeah, the COVID incident, hoping his dad dies from COVID. That's not a death threat, though. It's online abuse, fair enough, but it's not a death threat. And I just think if the club or the manager had come out and said, these are what I've received, or even give us an example of something he's received, I think it would be easier for us to accept and say, yes, he's had them. But to come out a week before, 2 weeks before, whatever it was, and say that he's been getting fan mail, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, so it's confusing to me. I mean, if he has received them, then it's disgusting. Shouldn't have happened. But it's like every other club. There's a small couple of % of people who will send these things and let the rest of the fan base down. I just don't like how the fan base has been tarred with the same brush, to be honest. But I don't know. It's hard to believe him at this stage. It really is. But if he has received them, then I do feel for him.
Yeah, Carl, what's your thoughts? Because these death threats could have came at Aston Villa, could have came at, he's managed rival clubs. Look at all the rival clubs. He's not scared to jump to the enemy with Sheffield clubs, Tyne and Wear, Birmingham clubs. So online abuse is heavily talked about a lot of late, not just Newcastle. You talk about black players as well, getting racially abused left, right and centre. Where do you stand in terms of Twitter, especially Instagram? Carl, do you believe, because I've said this already, that they shouldn't be allowed on the platform without any ID?
100% agree, and I'll just echo what Paul said there. We know and we see it firsthand. If someone's racially abused or targeted on Twitter, we know the police are involved immediately. They are. So if Steve Bruce has received death threats, so I'm not going to say whether he has or he hasn't, but it does make it hard to believe when there hasn't been any police involvement to what we've seen, because I'm sure we would know about that. So I do agree it is online abuse, but there is a difference. I absolutely agree with what Paul's saying. I echo what you say, Lee. We want Twitter of course there's always going to be different opinions, but people don't need to be abused on there. So if they're not willing to use their ID, then they've got bad intentions from the start. So I think anyone who wants to use these social media platforms for the right way will have no issue providing identification anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, I'm sure Paul's had it. I've had it. I'm sure you've had a call. It's everywhere, unfortunately. So we do have to live with it. If it is, genuine, nobody should be receiving death threats. We don't want to see Steve Bruce, die, but we don't want him at the club. I think all three of us will agree on that. He's not the man for the job. There is stupid people out there. I totally agree with Paul, but Paul, he's got a contract till the end of next season, which is 18 months. Do you see the club opening contract negotiations this summer?
I hope not. I hope they've seen the error of their ways in bringing him in. My worry is that obviously if he avoids relegation, they'll see that as some kind of success and say, well, he's done a great job, let's keep him on. Or the flip side of that is we go down and everybody thinks, oh, well, he's managed in the Championship, we'll just keep him. So it's difficult to see where they are going to get rid of him, because even if we go down, because of his success he's had or slight success he's had in the Championship, then they may just turn around and say, well, he can do the job in the Championship. He's just not the man. He's just not the man at all. He doesn't inspire the team at all. And that's noticeable on the pitch. But going back to what you said about Twitter there, Lee, I had obviously back in 2015, I got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which turned my life upside down. I lost my job, split up from my wife. Everything happened all in once. And I received, as you know, I used to have a channel a few years back and received awful online abuse about my illness, about my children, everything like that. And I decided to come off, lost all my subscribers, lost everything on Twitter, just because it got so bad. It was just awful. I wasn't in a good place, obviously, with the illness. I am now. It's very well managed. However, there's still those people out there. But I just think now, looking back at it, I shouldn't have, because I let them win. And that's the whole point of this. We can't let people like that win anymore, because we know there's good people out there that do all sorts of channels and go on Twitter and have their say. It's all about people's opinions, and you may not agree with them, but the fact of the matter is, you don't turn it to abuse because it affects people's lives. It did with me, and then I just decided to come back and let it go over my head with whatever I got after that. But it's just something that everybody has to deal with, I guess.
Yeah, Paul, first of all, thank you very much for opening up and saying that. Me and Carl really appreciate saying that, mate. So Don't give up your channel. So if that was to come back around, you know.
I've had it again, but I'm not going to let them win this time.
I had a horrendous 3-4 years ago, and we also had, personally, me, I was attacked by a large podcast Newcastle group, shall we say, quite a bit on Twitter. But it comes with it. You've just got to brush it off, and if you can brush it off, you know, you're still going, you're still making content, and I love doing it. You love doing it yourself, Paul. And you just brush it off. But unfortunately, we need to stay on negativity as well, because I wanted to talk about your thoughts about the takeover, the non-takeover. It was happening. It wasn't. Yeah. At this present moment, we know that Mike Ashley's trying to sue the Premier League. We know that they've came out. Do you think the takeover's dead?
No, I don't think it's dead. I think that I've said this many times, that I think there's something going on in the background. I don't believe all is lost yet. I don't subscribe to all this about Nick DeMarco putting secret messages on Twitter with slices of bread and stuff like that. But I do think, I genuinely think there is something going on. You know, whether they come to an agreement with the Premier League before it all happens to go to court. There's been people saying that might happen. But I just want everything to stay quiet on the takeover until it's announced. You know, no more rumours, no more this, no more leaked information, just everything behind closed doors. And then, you know, I have this image of Amanda Staveley, I've said it before, waving a black and white bra above her head or something in the middle of the pitch, you know, just to say, you know, it's your club again, you know, and it's just something like that. I mean, can you imagine how much sort of, you know, euphoria there would be around the fan base if that was to happen, you know, just out of nowhere, all quiet on the Western Front kind of thing. And then suddenly an announcement's made that there's a press conference and, you know, it happens. So I genuinely think something's going on in the background. It has to be if there's a court case going on. But I guess only time will tell. But I really do hope and pray it does happen, because this club needs it so badly now.
Yeah, we are the last one, aren't we? If you look at all the Premier League clubs to have a takeover, we are the last one. Carl, where are you standing at the moment? Because you probably know my feelings on it, that I hate doing takeover videos. Yes, the easy views, and they will get views, but I don't like doing videos that are based on rumours. Where do you stand on it?
I'm with you. I hate it. I see, you know, I'm not going to say anyone's names, but there's things out there on Twitter that come up, and I'm just straight away, I'm just like, why? You're just doing it for clicks, and it's pointless, because you don't know anything at the end of the day. You're just leading fans on. I'm exactly the same as Paul. I just don't want to hear about it until it's done. And to be fair to Mike Ashley, he said all along, you know, it won't be, if it's getting done, you won't hear about it, which is the way I want it to be. So yeah, you know, do I think the Saudis are still involved? I'm not sure. In terms of the takeover getting done, I know arbitration, that sort of stuff is happening, but what's going to come out of that, I don't know. I want it to happen, but I haven't got any clue. So my standpoint on it is the same as Paul's. I just want to wake up and see whatever's on the telly, however it gets announced. Amanda Staveley wearing a black and white bra would be fantastic, to be fair. I'm all about that. But yeah.
You can always take it off, you know, if you want that. Paul, how's your balls, mate?
Sorry?
How's your balls? Something I probably shouldn't have asked you that.
Me balls?
Yeah, how's your balls?
I know what you're coming on to. Yeah, the probably could use a bit of manscaping, mate.
Yeah, I've forgotten to mention
Nice link. Nice link.
We are proudly in partnership with Manscaped. I've totally forgot about it. Martin's going to tell us off, who's the member who's running the chat. So thank you very much. You can get 20% off. There is a link in the description. You've got to clean your balls, especially if you want to make your lady friends. I've got to be careful where I'm going with this. Where am I going with this?
I've got no idea.
Let's just get back to the football, shall we? Paul, we've got some questions regarding Newcastle United. I'll ask these questions because Carl's going to go over and come over to more about your personal YouTube sort of stuff. What was your first ever Toon memory?
My first ever Toon memory was, I think it was 85 when we played Brighton. I think it might have been Keegan's last game. When Peter Beardsley made the tackle on the edge of the box and chipped the keeper all in one motion. I think I've been to a few games. I was only a tiny kid at the time, so I think I'd been to a few games before that, but that stands in my memory. I just remember being in the Gallagher with my dad and that goal going in and then just getting thrown forward as if I was on a train towards the fence. It was bizarre times, but something I'll never forget. So that is my earliest memory that I have.
Wow, Paul, that was the year I was born. I don't want to make you feel old.
Hang on a minute. I said I was very, very young. I was only, tiny kid at the time.
But my first ever memory, and it actually came up the other day, was when we sold Andy Cole in January '95. That was my first ever memory. I don't know why it just stands out. I was 8 or 9 at the time, and remember selling Andy Cole. I was just sitting at the bottom of the stairs and just deflated. Carl, what was yours?
It was a cold Tuesday night. I think it was a Tuesday at Highfield Road against Coventry.
I thought you were going to say Stoke.
No. Yeah, Highfield Road against Coventry. I think it was 96 or 97. Shearer scored. We lost 2-1, I think it was. That was my first memory. And then after that, it was probably watching Ket's buyer break into his car after a training session because he'd locked his keys in there.
Yeah, great story. First Toon game, do you remember, Paul?
I briefly remember being at a game against Oxford, and I've asked my dad this 100 times, like, which was the first game, and even he can't remember. So I believe it was Oxford United. Like I said, that the first memory I've got is the Brighton game, but I think it was Oxford in the same, probably a couple of years earlier. I just remember us being shocking. I just remember us having a terrible side.
Cool. Next one. What's your all-time favourite Toon game for whatever reason?
The 5-0 Man United game. I was right behind that Philip Albert chip, and it was just fantastic. The atmosphere in the ground, just more so when Ferdinand scored from the Shearer cross, and Shearer went over the Man United fans and
all this.
Yeah, waving his arms around crazily, and it was just an unbelievable game because nobody expected a 5-0, absolutely nobody, and we just completely turned them over. And Man United were the force back then, weren't they? So it was unbelievable to get a result like that. There's been a few. I mean, I'll never forget Alan Shearer's testimonial, to be honest, taking his shoes off and waving them above our heads for some reason. I still don't understand what that was all about, but just fantastic memories. But the Man United one's got to stand out, really.
Oh yeah, fantastic 5-0. I remember I wasn't at the game, but I was watching that on Sky Sports. Some wonderful goals, and you got Ginola, even Ferdinand Tenner hit the bar.
Yeah, just incredible. I mean, I remember being at Anfield as well for the first 4-3. That was absolutely heartbreaking. But the Liverpool fans were great after that game. You know what I mean? I think they were a fantastic fan base. But just with that goal going in when it did, it was just absolutely heartbreaking. But that stands out for the wrong reason.
Yeah, 4-4 people are going with.
Yeah,
a lot. Newcastle 6, Norwich 2. That's probably more for the younger ones. When Aldham getting 4 that day. 1-1 Gateshead probably for the wrong reasons, I would imagine. Alan Shoulder being short to tap in at the Gallagher. Can't remember why though. 1981 for Graham's first ever game. FA Cup final. Oh, that was horrible. Horrible 2-0 defeat. That was
putting 6 selfishly for me. Putting 6 past Villa was definitely up there for the Villa fans in the chat. Just saying.
Who's your favourite Toon player of all time, Paul?
Of all time, it's a toss-up, really. I mean, Beardsley was just fantastic to watch. Every time he got the ball. I mean, I know you talk about the likes of Ginola and Robert and what they could do with the football, but Peter Beardsley did it consistently for so many years. Shearer for his goal scoring, but I'm going for Shea Given because I used to play goalkeeper before I went into all the ice hockey stuff. I played in goal, but I just think as a goalkeeper growing up, and then you're watching Shea Given, some of the saves he used to make was just unbelievable. I mean, you could name so many players over the past, especially in the sort of 90s that stand out, but Shea Given for me is still going to be up there.
Yeah, that save against Kevin Phillips at the Stadium of Light.
Oh my God, yeah. That's something that'll stand out.
That always stands out. And the other one where I think was Titus Bramble, where he heads it over the bar.
Yeah.
I think it was at the Gallagher end, I think that was.
Yeah, it was just, he seemed to be like a gymnast in goal. Just some of the stuff he was able to do and twist to like deflected shots. He would just turn in midair to save them. It was just
Brilliant.
fantastic stuff.
He was. Who's your favourite non-Toon player? Who have you admired?
Non-favourite.
Well, non-Toon.
Non-Toon. Oh, God.
Messi's mine, because I've seen Messi score a hat-trick at the camp.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Ronaldo.
Oh,
I think,
no.
Oh,
I
controversial.
I do. I think Ronaldo is just the fact. I think it's the longevity that he's gone on for, and he's done it in different leagues. That for me, I know everybody can argue Messi or Ronaldo, but the fact that Ronaldo's done it in different leagues and still maintained his scoring record, even now at his age, I mean, it's incredible. His fitness is just incredible, but what he does with the football is just. And he's so consistent as well. He very rarely has a bad game. There's always something happens with Ronaldo in a game. So I have to say Ronaldo.
Who's out of those two? Granted, they're the best in what we've seen. Who's been the third best player over the last 20 years?
For me, it's
a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a massive fan of Iniesta. Personally, he'd be up there for me.
Interesting. I've got a thing for Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah,
I think he's arrogant. I actually love that. I love that. It says, "I am the best. I am that."
He doesn't care. He doesn't care what he says. Does he?
Yeah, it's a bit like that arrogant. I am the best. I will get you through this. I am the god. Basically, I just love Zlatan. I thought just his arrogance. I love that. What's been your best? There probably isn't many. What's your best moment supporting Newcastle?
Christ, that's a tough question, to be honest.
It
Best moment. I mean, I was hoping that an FA Cup win would have come in my lifetime, but we failed on that account. I think, obviously, I have to look back to when we finished second in the league. I think that season, some of the football we played was just incredible. I mean, we were known as the entertainers. We were just that side that it could just turn up and demolish anybody on the day, and then suddenly it was just a case of, well, if you score 4 goals, we'll go and score 5. Very much like the modern day Leeds United, I guess. But just the fact that the football we played was just fabulous to watch. The goals that we scored. So yeah, it'll have to be that season we finished second.
Yeah, I remember that was my first ever vivid season throughout. Loads of games, loads of fantastic goals, and the way we crushed at the end was heartbreaking. And it really was.
Still hurts to this day.
It does.
What could have happened?
I'm going to flip it. What's your worst moment supporting Newcastle?
Probably that same season when we fell away, just being 12 points up and thinking the league's ours, and then suddenly we just go on a run of form that just was so unlike us throughout the season, and then letting teams that were way down the league, either draw against us or win against us. That was heartbreaking. But you mentioned it before, the FA Cup final against Arsenal was just, we were so up for that game, thinking this is a real opportunity for us to finally put this ghost of 69 to bed, and it just didn't happen. So yeah, I'll go for that one, because I just remember coming out of Wembley absolutely gutted because we just didn't turn up.
I think mine has to be the relegations under Ashley.
Well, yeah.
I think the first one hurt more because it was Villa Park, and Carl's probably going to agree, because I've got some love-hate relationship with Villa fans.
Me too.
I just, some of the time, it was like we were down, but like they were sticking the knife in further. Horrible. And that squad should have never gone down with the amount of talent that's in that squad, and just... Definitely. A lot of them were just mercenaries, but that hurt. Second time around, because obviously I was only around YouTube about 6-7 months when Rafa came in, and I just remember that day having to try and do a video, my reaction. I was trying to hold it in. I was wobbling and all that. It was horrible. It was horrible for me. Like it was with Rafa though. It was like, is he going to stay in the Championship? I think when we absolutely demolished Spurs on the last game of the season, and I've never ever been in a football ground on the last day of the season, knowing we've been relegated and been in an atmosphere like that. It was like we'd won the league. It was just a celebration of Rafa, really, wasn't it? And just the fact that we stuffed Spurs, and then the constant singing about we want you to stay and all of that kind of stuff. It was unbelievable. But I guess that's the kind of supporters we are, we continue going no matter what. Yeah, it's hope, isn't it? Carl, what's your worst?
Definitely the relegation, the first one. Obviously, it hurt more because it was Villa, but I just saw Sam put a comment. I was the same. It just brought me to tears. I was absolutely gutted, absolutely gutted. Yeah, just one to forget, wasn't it? It was just heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
It is, and then it's been our 14 year, man. And we used to be bigger than Manchester City and Spurs. We used to have we've gone backwards now, and we're still a big club. Don't get me wrong, but we've fell so far down that pecking order in the Premier League. There's giants around now. We're no longer a giant. We're a big club, but we've gone backwards, which is that's for another day, isn't it? We could go on about Mike Ashley and so on. Interesting you brought that up there, Paul, because I don't think there's any right or wrong answer at the next one. Protest and stay away, or do you go in and support the team?
I've never been one to have a go at anybody for staying away. I think it's their prerogative if they don't want to go. I did think about stopping. I did give my season ticket up at one stage, but that was more to do with my personal life than anything else. I was becoming a bit fed up, paying all that money to go and watch them when we don't have any ambition. We don't have any, there's nothing to go for, because that we're not trying to win a league. We're not trying to win a cup. They were putting the reserves out in the cup and we never got anywhere. And I just thought enough's enough. But for me, since then, going to matches is kind of my sort of getaway, if you like, meeting up with my mates and having a good few hours with them, and then getting the train back home down to Durham again. And it's just, for me, it's a getaway. It's a good day out, win or lose. I just love the match days. And I think a lot of people have realised how much they miss match days during all this COVID stuff, more than what they were going to think if they just stayed away because of Ashley. I think because they have to stay away now, I think that's affected more people than it normally would have.
Yeah, I remember boycotting the Arsenal game, and it was torture because we were in the Shark Bar. I just remember pissing it down. It was horrible weather. Seeing people go in and when after full time and seeing how many people didn't boycott.
Yeah,
I just remember filming outside in the car park, and there was me, Paul, and Kyle at the time. We were just all furious, more pissed off with our fellow Toon fans because we felt actually let down. That this had gathered momentum, Sky Sports, and everyone was thrown in it. And I thought, nah, not again. It spoiled a bit like you just said there, Paul. It spoiled my day. I was in a bad mood for a few days.
Yeah,
loved my away trips. I mean, I'm still talking about Southampton when we won 1-0, saint-maximin. That was my last game. Love getting in 4 in the morning. Well, I don't love getting in, but I love the whole day. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's just you look forward. It's something to look forward to, isn't it? You get yourself. It's amazing how you just normally you'd want to lie in bed, but it's a match day, away day. You want to get up dead early, and you're away. It's just the whole day.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's hard. That's really hard because people who want to protest, I've got nothing against that, but I've done it. I wouldn't ever do that again. Not for me. Because it put me in a right bad mood. Carl, where do you stand on that?
It's a bit of a different one for me, because if I see there's a lot of momentum, obviously it's easier for me to stay away, even though I've got a season ticket I am a season ticket holder. If loads of fans are saying that they're going to stay away, for me it's a case of waking up, okay, am I going to drive 250 miles? Do you know what I mean? So it's I don't like doing it, and I didn't do it for the Arsenal game. I drove up there, I sat down in the pissing down rain at the front of the Gallagher getting soaked. But sometimes I do wish that I probably wasn't at the game. But it's bad because when it comes to it, I just try and gauge what the reaction is going to be on Twitter. But like yourself, there's times where I've stayed away and not many people have. And I think, oh, I've missed out on a really good day there. So I tend not to do it where possible. And
we talked about, trolls and Twitter and targeting people and all that. And we were targeted quite a bit on YouTube for actually boycotting that game as well. And I just thought, nah. Not again. Do what you want, whatever makes you happy. I know you're going to have people saying, oh, you're giving Mike Ashley money. But then again, if you sat there watching Sky Sports or BT Sport, you're giving them money anyway. You're paying for the game. So it's one of them. Get on to more positivity. What's your favourite Toon kit, Paul?
You know what? I like this year's home strip, but if you can remember, we had a very similar strip a couple of years ago. I can't remember which year it was now. That was one of my favourites. I think the all-time favourite of mine is when we had the blue star on the front of the shirt. I've been trying to get a hold of one of them for ages, but unfortunately, they don't cater for 6'5" people. It seems like stuff that was made in the 80s was all for sort of people under 6 foot. So I like the away grey shirt. I believe you've got one on, Lee.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's so yeah. It was that's one of my favourites as well. So yeah, the blue star it just symbolised Newcastle United for me when I was a kid growing up. Having the blue star on the front of the shirt.
Mine's the Brunel ones again because it was my first season home and away.
Yeah,
loved it. What's yours, Carl?
Probably the Grandad collar with the Newcastle brown ale on the front, the Shearer one. Or I was quite a big fan of the orange goalkeeper top that had the black rings around it. I don't know if you remember that one that used to come out. That was always a favourite, to be fair. I like quite leery stuff, so anything that's bright coloured.
I quite like the goalkeeper tops where they have the time bridges on.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Shaka and Pavel.
Yeah. They're beautiful kits, beautiful. And every time I say Shaka Hislop and ESPN and all that, when I see him, I think, oh, what a kit, because he's always got the Toon badge behind him when he's on.
Yes.
But, yeah, fantastic kits. Great memories. Right, tough one, this one. Ginola, Robbie, or Ben Arthur, Paul? Who are you picking and why?
Ginola. I think he was more consistent than Robert and Ben Arthur. I know he could go missing in some games, but with Ginola, it was just, the fact that he stayed out on the left. He was a fantastic crosser of the ball. He could pick out Ferdinand or Shearer, whoever it may be. Just he didn't even have to look up. He knew where they'd be in the box. I think some of his dribbling skills were just fantastic. And the fact that, he got kicked from pillar to post and he didn't ever really make a fuss of it. He just got up, get on with it, and he'd make sure that he'd done the defender by nutmegging him or skipping round him the next time. I remember his famous battles with Lee Dixon back in the day at Arsenal, especially down at Highbury. Just
sent off there, didn't he?
Sorry,
got sent off there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It just his all round performances. I mean, the goal against Ferencvaros in Europe was just incredible. They flicked it over the defender and then volleyed it with his other foot. I mean, don't get us wrong, Robert and Ben Arthur have scored some amazing goals in the time. But Ginola was just the all-round player for me.
Ginola, Sam saying Robert. I'm going Robert. I think because Robert scored more than Ginola, that's probably Ginola's downfall, where Ginola only got, 4, 5, 6 a season, whereas Robert will get you double figures. And the time he knocked Olivier Bernard out, I think was at Charlton, wasn't it?
Oh, God. Yeah. So I just remember, I'll never forget that, because it was just sort of, Bernard just sort of took 3 steps back and then just fell over just in a straight line. It was just unbelievable to see. That must have hurt, though. Jesus Christ, and I've cracked the ball.
I think Souness basically ruined Robert's time at Newcastle because he was more on the bench. Did come off the bench and score a couple of good goals, and I remember his free kick in the UEFA Cup. But Robert hated to tap in. I mean, some of the goals are used in the movie Goal. 2 of his, the one against Liverpool and then his back heel against Fulham in mid-air. Mine's Robert. Carl?
Mine's Ginola. He was just reminding me of our very own long-haired Zidane for me. Just everything about him was just pure class. So, yeah, I loved Robert, but I just thought Ginola was the better all-round player.
Yeah,
let's be honest, we'd take all 3 now, wouldn't we? Take any one of them at the minute.
I would play all 3. This one's another one. Who are you going with, Keegan or Robson?
Oh, Christ, that's impossible to answer. That's a tough one. I'd probably go with Sir Bobby, just for the sentimental value. Just that, the guy was just a fantastic man, just all round. In the whole footballing world, nobody will say a bad word about Sir Bobby. The passion that he had for Newcastle United, even before he came to be manager, he always spoke highly of the club. Everybody knew who he supported, and then when he came in, and turned Shearer's career back around again after what Hull had done, just getting him scoring goals again, just putting an arm around him and saying, look, Alan, you're the main man kind of thing, forget what's happened. You're Newcastle United through and through. Keegan is different. Keegan saved us, didn't he, really, from oblivion when he came in and give us those wonderful 90s years of goal scoring, entertaining football. But I'd have to sneak Sir Bobby just for sentimental value. But I hold both of them just as high as each other, really. But Sir Bobby sneaks it for sentimental values.
Yeah, I've met Bobby a few times, and he's told us off for not saying please and thank you for his pens. Bumped into him Eldon Leisure, walked on the Toon coach by mistake as a kid, and Bobby sat there and I froze. And yeah, Bobby's loved, but mine will be Keegan because we wouldn't be where we are today because of him. We're a modern club because of him. So, but like I say, it's so tough. Yeah. Carl, you got the deciding factor.
It is a tough one, but with Keegan, I was 6, 7, 8 years old, growing up watching them. So, it was more the players that were having an impact on me at the time. When it come round to Bobby, I think he just reminded me of my granddad, and it was just literally he was the epitome of what I felt people of Newcastle were, which was just passionate, lovely people, and he just come across as such a nice bloke that I just fell in love with him. So, I think it would be closer if I was older watching Keegan, but it was more the players for me that time. And with Sir Bobby, I just thought he was an amazing man. Yeah,
God rest his soul. And we do raise money for his charities as well. So fantastic. His legacy will never die. Bit of a funny one before Carl goes on to your more the personal questions. Who would you take out with Souness or Dalglish, the worst?
Oh my God. Jesus wept. I'll never forgive Dalglish really for what he did when he came in and just dismantled what Keegan had done. I think, just getting rid of Ginola, getting rid of Ferdinand, he just completely dismantled it. And the players that he brought in to replace them were just, well, they were horrendous, weren't they? They weren't exactly fantastic footballers, some of them. We just went downhill so quick under Dalglish, and for that reason, I'll pick Souness over Dalglish. Unfortunately,
I think I'll probably just go Dalglish because he got to the final. That's probably it. But yeah, you're all right. You did dismantle a side, but you did bring the youth side back, which Keegan got rid of. So
well, yeah, he did. But I'll never forgive him for selling some of those players
and bringing in Dad's army. Yeah,
exactly.
Great. Carl, you've got the next ones. I'll let Carl take over.
Yeah, Paul, first of all, congratulations on hitting 1,000 subs, mate. Massive achievement.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, first question, how do you feel about
that? Really pleased because obviously what I said before about coming off YouTube originally, because I can remember when I first started on YouTube all those years ago, I did have sort of brief conversations with Lee about doing something, but obviously it never came to fruition because I didn't stay on that long. I did get my subscribers up, but like I say, it all fell apart for me because of the trolling. So to get 1,000 again now, because I've only really just started to come back properly this season. I did a few videos last season and on and off, but I've only really just started again towards the end of last season, this season, properly doing reviews, reactions and all that kind of thing, and live streaming. I never thought I'd ever live stream, to be honest, but I really enjoy doing that. So to get up to 1,000 now, for me is a big achievement, and I just have to look forward now and keep going.
Absolutely, because forgive me if I'm wrong, Paul. I'm pretty sure it was yourself. I think it was maybe 3-4 months ago, or maybe 5. I think I might have seen you put something out on Twitter where you were thinking about knocking it on the head because you maybe weren't getting enough traction as to what you wanted. Am I right in saying that?
You are, yeah.
Yeah. So what changed, mate?
I think that's the biggest problem with anybody starting a YouTube channel, whether it be football or anything, to be honest. It's very, very hard when you first start. Everybody thinks that you just start and then you get, you get loads of subscribers so quickly. It doesn't happen like that because of the way, search results, etc. work on YouTube. And especially when there's so many fan channels now, which is brilliant because you all get to have your say. It's just something I love doing. And when I went back to YouTube and I started watching videos about sort of how to keep patient and what to do, I didn't realize that, tags made a big difference, your description, your thumbnails, all of this. So, I bought into getting green screens, lighting, DSLR cameras, and I've just recently purchased this Blue Yeti microphone, which cost us over 100 quid. So, I just thought, right, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to invest in it and stick at it this time. And it was after the Leeds game away at Elland Road when we got hammered. I completely lost the plot on one of my review videos, and suddenly my subscribers went just, I think the Leeds away game, I was still only on 260 odd subscribers. So in such a short space of time, it grows. And then that's what happens, though. It's just one moment happens that you start getting the subscribers and it keeps growing. And as long as you're putting the content out on a regular basis, people will watch you. So for me, that's what it was. I just had to get my head down and decide if I wanted to really make a go of it, or whether it was just going to be a lightweight thing where I was putting a couple of videos out here and there. But I didn't. I thought I'm going for it this time.
Yeah, fair play to you, mate. Because me personally, I think your setup is one of the better ones in the Newcastle sphere. Obviously, I can't say that about our own channel because but genuinely, I've always been a fan of your content, and I always look to watch yours because it's produced well. I think it looks a lot better than some channels out there. So I'm really happy that you managed to get to 1,000 subs, mate, and I really want you to continue.
Yeah.
Off the back of that, what are your short, medium, and long-term goals for the Toon Review channel?
Well, because obviously, I have this illness and I can't, I can't work, which was a massive blow to me because I've worked for so long, and I wanted to do something to make. I've got 4 young kids. I've got a stepdaughter and 3 of my own who I want them to look at the dad and think, yeah, I'm proud of something he's done, because, they didn't see me back in my ice hockey days. I represented England, Great Britain, all that kind of stuff. They didn't get to see that. And that kind of annoyed me because I had to finish early because of injury for that. And then doing this, they get to see me on the computer, and it's my oldest one's 18 now, and she kind of looks and says, oh, you've got 1,000 subscribers. I'm really proud of you. Now, for a dad, for our 18-year-old daughter to say I'm proud of you meant the world to me after what I've been through. So that keeps giving me the ambition to keep going and just grow it as high as I can, really. I mean, I don't know about... I know you guys have been going a while. It's a fantastic channel, which I've watched since I started YouTube, to be honest. So I've seen you guys grow, and it's amazing how you put everything together, and it inspires others. So channels like yours do inspire other, whether it be Newcastle or whoever it may be, football fans around the UK, to do something like that. And when they get into it and they really enjoy it, because I absolutely love what I do now, but I love watching other channels as well. And that's the thing about it. We're all in it together kind of thing and doing the same thing, but we all watch each other's channels and still get as much enjoyment out of it as we did originally. So for me, I just want to keep growing and see where it goes. I mean, I want to aim as high as I can, because this to me now is what I do basically full time because of my illness. It's not like I'm sort of too poorly to do anything, because I'm well controlled by medication now. It's come on a long way. Because when I was first diagnosed, you think of sort of Muhammad Ali and all that kind of stuff. It's not like that anymore, but it does put restrictions on you in a way. So this is what I do now permanently, and it's what I enjoy. So as high as I can possibly go. Brilliant,
mate. You touched on it there. How do the little ones feel about you being online? Do they love it? Or
yeah, I mean, my son's only 8. And my stepdaughter's 7. So sometimes I'll just because I'm a bit silly, really. I'll do my video and I'll go straight downstairs and I'll put it on the big screen to watch it back to make sure, to try and see if there's anything I need to improve.
Yeah.
So when they see, Dad come on the telly, the kind of, my God, what's he doing on there kind of thing. So they don't understand when they come into the room and they see all the lights and the green screen, how it transforms into being in a studio kind of thing. They just do not understand it. They think it's some kind of magic. But to see the little faces and to see them know that, I'm doing something that I really enjoy, and they see me on the TV. And even my son, he comes with us to the Newcastle games sometimes, and he looks at us and says, "Oh, Dad, you're on the telly. That's brilliant." So it just gives me the will and heart to keep going.
Mine's similar, sorry, Carl, but because I have a 17-year-old girl as well, and she's the complete opposite, Paul. So I wish I had some kids like you. Because my little one cringes when she sees me. When she sees me, it might be a small clip on BT Sport or whatever. Or she cringes because she's got a lot of friends who, because obviously the kids nowadays all are on YouTube, they all know Newcastle and what have you. So all of her friends at school used to go, "Your dad's Newcastle Fans TV," and all that. And she used to eat it. But I would love that. But unfortunately, I didn't have that with my little one. So she.
I mean, me 12-year-old girl doesn't care. She's just into her you know, our iPad and everything and FaceTime with our friends all the time. She's not bothered at all. But, you know, the little ones are, and me eldest, you know, having her say she's proud of us is just all I need to keep going, really.
Yeah, definitely. I'm similar to you in the sense that I watch everything back after we've done it. Even if it's midnight, I'll be in bed watching it back to make sure everything's done correctly. And my missus will be absolutely seething with me, like she's had enough of me already.
I'm lucky in a way because you know, obviously my marriage ended when all that stuff happened a few years ago. I've got a fiance now who is just so supportive. I just have to say, look, I'm going upstairs, I'm doing a video, or I'm on a live stream, and she just says, go for it, you know. I've never had that support before from a partner, so for her to be like that with me is just fantastic. She's so supportive. She knows the stuff I've bought. She's been supportive for that, and just never complains when I have to go and do a video or anything like that, or have to watch the matches. She totally understands, and it's something I've never been used to until now. So it's brilliant, really.
Yeah, off the back of that, because I mean, I think people are starting to understand how much work does go into preparation for, even if you're doing a 5-10 minute video, there's a lot that goes into it. What does your kind of preparation look like, Paul, when you're about to do a video?
Well, I've got a desk at the minute in the bedroom. I mean, we're hoping to get an extension on the house, which I've been promised I can convert into a kind of little office for me studio kind of thing. So I've got sort of 3 big lights shining down, the green screen, wires everywhere, camera behind, you know, so it does take a lot to set up, and but it's something I really enjoy doing. It sounds bizarre, but I enjoy the whole setup process, editing the videos. You know, once I've got into live streaming, I kind of realize, I don't have to sit and edit a video and then let it render for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Because that's the pain in the arse about doing the actual recordings is editing. You put all your stuff into the editing, and then you have to wait an hour and a half for it to bloody render, unless you've got a top class laptop or PC, which I don't have at the minute. So I have to wait. And then when it's done, it's then the upload process to YouTube. It's designing your thumbnails. You know, I sat this morning, I sat there and designed 4 thumbnails for future videos and stuff. So I just love it all, really. And it's something that keeps me going.
Yeah. Lee, yourself, what is your what's the thing you hate most about recording?
I agree, Paul. StreamYard is, everyone's using it. It's so good. It's the layouts I hate doing. It's the thumbnails. I hate late night games. I hate them.
Oh yeah.
Because I think we played, what was that 8:15 game? Was that Palace?
Yeah.
I wasn't done till 1:30. And mind you, if that was a away game, it's a lot worse. But I think we're going to have probably a plan for next season where we'll probably have an online team and a team at the game. But it's all of the planning behind the scenes, thumbnails, marketing it, because it does a lot of graft. Because if you want more views, you have to do that. So you try and squeeze, and Paul probably related this. You've got to squeeze as much as you can, because one share, even if it's to say LinkedIn, that one share may become a subscriber.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the mindset, is everywhere that you need to get your content out, get it out, and a lot of graft. I can totally understand where Paul's coming from.
100%. That leads me nicely onto the next question. What's more important to yourself, Paul? Is it views or subscribers at the moment?
Probably views, if I'm honest, because you want to know that people are watching your videos. I mean, you could have 3,000 subscribers, but you still might only get a couple of hundred views, and you think, wow, you know, if there's that many subscribers, then you know, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
And you think that the content that you're putting out mustn't be enjoyable for people to watch. So that kind of would have been a much more of a worry to me. Obviously, like I said before my subscribers went up, you know, the views slowly went up before the subscribers. So, you know, they would start off with like 100 views on your video, and then you know, suddenly they'd grow to a couple of hundred, then go from there. My videos still vary. You know, sometimes I'll get 5,000 views, sometimes I'll get 1,000. But at least I know people are watching, and I've sort of gathered a following now, which is great. But I've made a lot of friends through YouTube as well, which has been a positive from the lockdown, is just how many people I've got to know, and how good it'll be when all this COVID's over to actually meet up with people and things like that. I mean, it's took me a lot to come on here tonight and say about my illness and stuff, because that's something that some of my subscribers do know about, because I've been honest with them, obviously. But you know, you guys have a much bigger audience, and it's not easy sometimes to talk about an illness like that, because people obviously will refer to you know, looking back at Michael J. Fox or you know, Muhammad Ali and think, oh, he's going to end up like that. It's nothing like that these days, you know.
Yeah.
It does have restrictions on you, but it's as if to say, you know, don't let something like that get in your way. If you want to keep going, then do it, you know, and nothing should stop you, really. If you've got an ambition to do a YouTube channel, then just go and do it, you know. But you've got to be wary that it does take work and it does take effort, and your subscribers will build, whether it be 6 months, a year, whatever it may take. You know, you will get there in the end if you put the effort in. But it's just to say that you can do it no matter what, you know. It doesn't. There's no restrictions.
Absolutely, mate. Again, as Lee said, we really appreciate opening up about that. It's a massive thing to do, and we know our community will be really supportive of that as well. Coming over to yourself quickly, Lee. I think I know your answer, but views or subscribers?
Views, because views will turn into subscribers. So what you tend to find, what we've been on YouTube since, I mean, I started like Paul, it was just me on my own. And then obviously I expanded as well. But I think what tends to happen is views will turn into subscribers. Yeah. The next aim is to try and get them subscribers watching again, which sometimes we can be poor at ourselves. We're still learning that. We've got 24,000, but our videos aren't getting 24,000 views sometimes. So we might have like half of them watching or 25% watch them. It's getting them back on again. So it's also, there's two things, views, but getting them to rewatch.
I think the good thing about YouTube is that you're always kind of learning. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you've got. There's always something new that's popping up all the time, whether it be technology or whatever it may be, to make yourself better. And I do that every day. I'm looking on these, how to do better thumbnails, all of this kind of stuff. I'm a proper nerd when it comes to that for some reason. You know, but I enjoy doing it all, learning new things, and say, all right, I can maybe put that into fruition and see what happens there. And, you know, it's something I really like doing.
I absolutely agree. I was the same. I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I've always been able to make my videos look good. But in terms of like learning along the way, like coming over to this channel has just like opened my eyes massively. Similar to you, Paul, I wouldn't kind of buy into tags and having long descriptions and realizing how much of an effect that difference that makes. It wasn't until coming here, Lee has taught me so much, and it's just transitioned into other things that I do as well. So I absolutely agree. I'm the same. I absolutely love learning things. I know Lee's exactly the same. We're always trying to do different things.
See, I watch you guys a lot. Obviously, I watch you all the time, to be honest. But I just your overlays and stuff that you put on, and that's kind of says to me, oh, you know, they can do that on StreamYard, and how do they do that? And then I'll go away and learn that. You know, I've pretty much learned all the video editing and stuff like that by watching YouTube videos, as daft as it sounds.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it, and the different softwares to use, and what's better, what's not, what's easier to use for like green screens and chroma keys and all of this kind of stuff you have to learn about. And for me, it was an adventure from the start, because I didn't have a clue how to edit a video. It just, normally I'd just put it on my phone, upload it on the phone, and away you go, you know. But it's there's so much more to it. But it's
100%.
It's something I really enjoy.
Absolutely. Where was it? I was gonna, what do you enjoy doing outside of making videos, mate?
Well, obviously, the kids take up a lot of my time, especially during lockdown. I'm very, very lucky that they understand what's going on in the world right now, and you know, they get up on a morning, and sometimes they'll have a gripe about having to do schoolwork. But my stepdaughter, she doesn't like doing the schoolwork at all, but she'll do it. But my little lad, yeah, exactly. But my little lad will get up, and he'll sit next to us, and there's this thing called Dojo, it's called, that they send the work out on, and he does it, he sends it back, and then he gets on with the rest of his day. So he knows if he spends like an hour sitting with me getting all his work done, there's no more work to do. He can go and you know, go and play on Roblox, or I mean, he shouldn't be, but he's on GTA 5 a lot. But he's you know, he's got all the mods on his laptop, and he you know, he puts earthquakes and stuff like that on, and I think, you know what, when I look at that and think, yeah, he knows what the naughty words are, kind of thing, but he doesn't play the game. He goes into like a director mode or whatever it's called, and he just sort of flies the planes, drives the cars. But for me, he's putting mods on and stuff like that. Now, an 8-year-old kid doing that is, for me, it's brilliant. You know, he's downloading them, he's putting them into the files and all of this. I mean, I showed him at first how to do it, but for me, that kind of thing is brilliant watching him do that, because he's very tech-minded. You know, I've got a dog, a golden retriever, which I love going walking. It's obviously, for me, illness, it does me the power of good, getting out. So it's taken up a lot of my time. Obviously, I still keep an eye on the ice hockey. I'll always have a place in my heart for that. There's not much of that going on at the minute, apart from over in America, so it's difficult to watch. But yeah, ice hockey will always be sort of second to me.
What about yourself, Lee? Because we haven't really had this conversation, to be fair. What do you enjoy doing outside of videos, mate? Because I know it takes up a lot of your time.
Well, I've got a full-time job, so you know the COVID situations. I had to work from home. It's no big secret. I work for that big sports satellite company. There's a clue. So I have to be careful of what I can and cannot say, as you know. Obviously, I've got a daughter who's a similar age to Paul, so 17. I'm in a fairly new relationship, quite similar to Paul, I think you said earlier on. So mine's been 6 months. Very much happy, and the little one's become a part of my life. So that's probably helped me massively over the COVID situation, where I've got other stuff and stuff like YouTube, because you know what I'm like, I'll talk your head off with football. If you message me, I'll rabbit on about football non-stop, and it's like Paul said, it's a distraction, but it's a welcome one.
Yeah, definitely. Other Newcastle channels that you watch, Paul?
I watch yourselves a lot. I like I don't do any kind of build up or anything. I do a match reaction, but I don't do any build up. I'll obviously put you guys on. I'll watch the build up, and I really love watching that. There's Toon TV with Sharky. I think he's doing really well. There's the smaller channels I tend to support as well, like PD Proudlock, John Sinclair, who I think is just one of the funniest men ever. If you've watched my shows, you'll know what is it just.
Oh, I've got to stop you, because Sam does the funniest impression of him. He's going to have to come on. I'm calling him out. He's going to have to come on and do his impression, because he has pictures. We've got a WhatsApp group up, and honestly, it's John's impressions, and has us buckled on the floor. Brilliant.
Do you know what? He's just the most honest, genuine man there is. I mean, he made a comment on one. You know, I do this thing called the 4 Horsemen of the Toon on a Monday, and you know, he made this comment a few weeks ago when he was asked how much they thought Joe Linton was worth. There's the guys there, and he said 15 million quid, and he's never lived that down to the minute. I mean, now people are putting on, you know, on the live chat, you know, that John and Joe Linton are going to start an ASMR YouTube channel. They're going to run a butcher's shop together. They'll go hair cutting together, all sorts of stuff. He's never ever lived it down. But the one thing about John is he takes it all in such good spirits. You know, he's a fantastic man, and I do want to help him grow, because you know, I mean, bless him, he puts live streams out every day. He did a 3.5-hour live stream last Friday. It was supposed to be a press conference reaction, but it just went on and on. But you know, he'll send us emails and he'll say, "Oh, how did you do that? How did you do this?" And it's nice for me that people are asking me now how to do things, you know, rather than it being the other way around, where I've been asking other people in the past. And you know, people are emailing me now saying, "Oh, how do I get that? How do I put this on? How do I put that on?" and things like that. And it's brilliant for me, because I love to help out the other channels as well. Obviously, Barry, who's new on my show on a Monday, he's just started doing one with NUFC news reports, and he's starting a series where he's going to start interviewing Newcastle fans from around the world. And you know, so for me to inspire people like Barry and things like that to go on and do it is because Barry's sent me some messages that, you know, thanking me for bringing him onto the show because it's helped his mental health and things like that. And for me, that, you know, that's all you can get, really. That's a satisfaction for me.
Definitely. Yeah, big fan of John. We had him on the watch along a couple of months ago. I just love that he talks everything straight. It's no bullshit with John, which I love.
Do you not think he sounds like a sort of older Shola Amiobi?
Yeah,
like with his Geordie accent. I mean, the guy lives in Bristol, but he's just such a Geordie.
He's got two accents though. He's like, you talk. Yeah. He goes, "Hello, mate. How are you doing?" It's like, what?
It does. It sort of changes mid-sentence, doesn't it? Because sometimes I'll be like, was that John that said that, or somebody else seemed to come on the audio there? It's bizarre, but it's just fantastic.
Yeah, he is. He is. I've lost my train of thought there now. We're talking about the Four Horsemen, because I do watch that myself as well. Obviously, you've got people in for that, but do you look to expand the amount of people that you've got in the Toon review? If that makes sense.
Yes, I'll do a Thursday night live thing, but I'm going to start doing a lot more live streams because I really love it. I love the interaction with everybody. I think you get more out of it than you do with just a recording. You know, you do your recording by yourself, you edit it by yourself, and then you post it. Then you read everybody's comments. But doing a live stream, everybody's with you live, sending comments live. And I've brought Holly Blades on board, young Holly. She's on with me tomorrow night again. And she hasn't got a YouTube channel. She's a young lass who just loves our football, loves Newcastle United. And I love getting people like that on as well, you know, who don't have their own channels, but they like coming on. So she's part of the Toon review group, if you like. Obviously, I go on John's channel. I do a watch along with him sometimes. And then I go on Peter's channel, Sharky's channel, you know. So everybody gets on everybody else's channels and supports each other, which is... I don't think there's another fan base like ours, to be honest, you know, because for me, there's... Sorry, Lee?
Yeah, you need that, Paul, because if you just look at Twitter and the amount of people that have a go at Newcastle fans, each other's groups, sometimes they'll go quiet for a few months and then bang, they're at each other's heads. You've got personalities clashing with groups and vice versa with journalists. And I think with what we do is obviously on NFTV, obviously a lot of those guys have mentioned have been on. Even Shark used to be part of NFTV as well. So I think, right, because at the end of the day, we've all got, yes, you may have 500 subs and the other person may have 20,000 subs, but we're all talking about the same thing.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I said this a couple of weeks ago on one of my shows that when I was asking people to subscribe, and then we got talking about how good it is to have so many fans want to do YouTube channels on Newcastle United, but at the same time, I don't see any malice between the channels, you know, like no nastiness about, oh, you've got so many subscribers to them, you know. We all kind of support each other, which is brilliant. I mean, you know, you guys have been going along a while on here, and you've got the subscribers up and things like that, but you're not a bad bunch of lads, you know. There's not one nasty bone in your bodies, you know. It's like, if I sort of messaged you for help, I know I'd get it. Or if I asked you to come on my channel for something, then, you know, you may be too busy, but you would reschedule or something like that. You know, there's not one person that I don't feel uncomfortable messaging to ask them if they're going to come on, you know. It's oh, there's Holly herself. Yeah, she's watching. Hiya, Holly.
A few times as well. She's everywhere at the minute.
Yeah, she is.
But that's only a good thing for her, because you know, it just proves how. Because what I hate, and I hated about, you know, I know Steve Wraith does this ladies' night thing, and the amount of abuse the lasses got when they first started doing it, I found it disgusting, because, you know, if you listen to the likes of Kendall and Sav and Sam and people like that and Holly, they all know the stuff just as much as the lads do. So, you know, just because the females, it doesn't mean they don't know as much as we do or don't have an opinion. And that's why I had Sav on my show a couple of weeks ago. Holly's on board now. It's just, for me, it's fantastic. But the all-round Newcastle fan base for me is one of the best.
Yeah, 100% agree. I've been on a few videos with Kendall, and she's brilliant. She's brilliant. We've had the pleasure of having Holly on the fan reactions a lot again. Talks a lot of sense. I absolutely agree. It's just, people are just so close-minded, but I think that's disappeared from our fan base. I really do, which is great. It seems it's disappearing from the sport quite quickly, which is great. Just some light-hearted questions for you now, mate.
Yeah, go on.
Favorite TV program?
Oh God, I'll be slated for this probably, but I like the on Netflix there's a show called The Originals, which was a spin-off from The Vampire Diaries, which I thought was more for teenagers, but The Originals is a bit more darker. It's more of an adult theme, so I really like that. I do watch a lot of documentaries, nature documentaries. I'm quite a chilled out guy, to be honest. I'm not into. I don't watch a lot of gangland stuff or anything like that. I do like me sort of action films. Don't get us wrong, but just anything that just comes on and I think, oh, that might be good watching. So I did make it slip yesterday. I had to watch the game in the Chelsea game up here on my laptop because the kids wanted to watch Harry Potter. So I got a bit slated for that the other day, but I still got to see the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about yourself, Lee? What's your favourite TV program?
Game of Thrones, quite easily.
Okay.
Game of Thrones all the way. Westworld's another one if you haven't seen that, about robots. That's on Sky Atlantic, 3 seasons. So those two, I like that kind of stuff, sci-fi material. So those two are my 2 favorite box sets. But my favorite movie is Forrest Gump. Oh, what a film! What a film! I could rewatch that film over and over and over and not get bored of it. Love it.
I'm a massive fan of Sons of Anarchy myself. I don't know if either of you have seen that.
Yeah,
I genuinely.
I've been told to watch that. I've been told to watch that. I haven't seen Game of Thrones either, to be fair. So I need to catch up a bit, I think.
I'll have to get you a picture, but genuinely, I'm not joking. After watching Sons of Anarchy, I grew my hair like down all the way down to my back because of the main character.
I wish I could still do that.
Honestly, I bought a motorbike because they're all driving around on Harley Davidson, so I bought myself a motorbike. It's ridiculous.
He's from Newcastle United, he's from Heaton.
Yeah, I know, Charlie Hunnam. Yeah. Yeah. What's your favourite film then, Paul?
Well, the Bad Boys I really love, with Will Smith, and I really loved the Bourne series. I thought they were fantastic films. Anything like that, really. I mean, I've probably the Bourne films, to be honest, are my favourites.
Yeah. Where are we? Favourite singer or band?
Oh, I've seen some crap in my time, or been forced to see some crap in my time. I was a big fan of Bryan Adams back in the day. I remember going to see him at Huddersfield's football stadium. He stayed on stage for about 3.5 hours. It was amazing. So kind of like, I like a bit of Metallica it depends what kind of mood I'm in. I've been to see Steps, believe it or not, but I was forced to go. I was forced to go as somebody's birthday at Newcastle Arena.
I'm saying
I saw Robbie Williams there as well, but again, I was forced to go. But I think I've got such a varied taste in music. It just depends what mood I'm in. You know, if I need to be picked up, or if I'm in the car, I'll put mainly driving music on. Really, that I've been told I drive too fast, so I probably need to change my music for that.
Are you a singer in the shower, Paul? Do you like to get out and sing?
Well, it's funny enough. I have a singing page on Facebook. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Really?
Yeah, I've got various songs on there. If you search Paul Ditchburn music, you'll find it. I did this thing when the COVID first started, the first lockdown. I put an app on my phone called Smule. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like a karaoke thing. And I started doing a few songs, and then suddenly, people were. I would put them on. I live in Sacriston near Durham, so I'd put the songs on the Sacriston Facebook page, and suddenly I'd get a massive response. And then it just kicked off from there. People were asking us to do songs for the birthdays, or I actually recorded a CD for somebody's funeral.
Wow.
So it just kicked off. So yeah, I definitely like a bit of a sing song, without a doubt.
Fair play, mate.
That's fair play, because sorry about it, because funny you should say that, Paul.
As I said, we got a screen share.
This thing called love, I must get round to it. I ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. This thing called love, it cries in a cradle all night. It swings, it jives. It shakes all over like a jellyfish. I kinda like it. Crazy little thing called love.
Right, I love that. Absolutely love it. Class.
I know. I actually sang that for me, my fiance's mum, who's a massive Elvis fan. So I sang that, and then I started singing all sorts of sloppy stuff, and then the high tempoed stuff, and it just ballooned. The one that I put my songs on Facebook, and then suddenly my songs were going on to different singing channels across Facebook, and then this guy contacted us and said, "Oh, I really want this song for my mum's funeral. Can you sing it for us?" And it just blew up. He put us in touch with a producer who I sent the songs to, and then all of a sudden this box of CDs came back to my house with three songs on. It was madness.
And next thing you know, it's on Newcastle Fans TV.
Absolutely.
It doesn't get better, Lee. It doesn't get better.
I absolutely love that. Yeah, final question from myself, mate, is I know we talked about short-term, long-term goals. Subscriber goals for the next 6 months?
I'd like to think that I can maybe get up to 1,500, 2,000. I've been told that once you get over 1,000, obviously, Facebook puts your channel more openly on the search pages and things like that, and you found more quicker. But I find that, you know, just getting on people's channels and on social media probably is a lot better. It puts you out there, kind of thing, and helps you grow, which is why I like bringing the smaller channels on with me, so we can all grow together, kind of thing. So it's good fun.
Absolutely.
You've got a lot of fans about your singing there. I don't know if you're looking at these comments there. Hey, we've got a second channel. Maybe you should start your own, Paul.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I did start the Paul Ditchburn Music YouTube channel, but I kept getting done for copyright. So
of course,
they weren't taking the songs off. They were just saying, you know, if I ever did get monetized, then obviously you can't do anything about it because it's copyright, you know. So I thought, oh, sod it, and I just deleted that and I put it all on Facebook, you know. So it was just good fun.
Why do you think I've only used about 15 seconds there?
I can't believe you picked that bloody song out of them all. You know, unbelievable. But obviously, people can go and have a look if they want. You know, it's just good fun for me. And I was getting so many nice comments coming back saying, "Oh, you know, thank you for doing this during lockdown." You know, I was posting 2 or 3 songs a day onto local sites, and you know, when I was going into like the local Tesco's or the pet shop and things like that, saying, "Oh, you were fantastic singing all this," and it was just really nice getting such nice feedback from people saying, "Oh, I love putting your songs on. It brightens up my day," and things like that. So, you know, it was just me giving a bit back for you know, lockdown and stuff like that. That's all it was, really.
Definitely. I was going to ask one thing actually. I forgot to ask it. Do you get recognised much when you're out and about, and how do you react to it?
Not much, if I'm honest, not at the minute. I mean, maybe it's when I start going back to the matches. Certainly once I've got a few more subscribers, you know, then maybe it'll happen then, because I do want to start going to games and doing a bit of a vlog where I'm interviewing some fans after the game and stuff, because I sit next to Leon Gill, who you may know his daughter won Love Island a couple of years ago.
I shouldn't say yes that I know that, but I do know
yes,
that.
But you obviously do, yes. Just admit it. I've admitted to a lot on here. You can admit to watching Love Island.
Yeah.
Lee's staying very quiet, but obviously, you know.
Yeah.
No okay. Idea.
I know what Love Island is, don't get me wrong, but I've tweeted some nasty stuff about Love Island. So
I didn't actually know it was his daughter until the very sort of second off last show when they brought the parents in. And I'm sitting there with my eldest, and we were on holiday at the time in a caravan, and he walked on, and I'm thinking, I sit next to him at the football, that's Leon. So I messaged him straight away, and he just sort of messaged back saying, "Oh, I thought you would have recognised us," you know. So but it's nice. I'm going to try and interview people at the game and then put them onto my videos when I get home, you know, if I can keep my temper, that is.
Yeah, absolute pleasure having you on, mate. Really enjoyed it.
So thank you very much.
No, Paul is absolute star. I thought I'd wind up a little bit with the music at the end there, just a little bit lighthearted.
Doesn't wind us up, mate. Don't worry, it's fine. I don't mind at all. I'm all for banter and stuff, mate. You know me. I'm
Peter Proudlock, I know you're watching. I'm not having none of your Metallica stuff, so no, thank you.
Oh, he got enough ripped out of him last night when he turned up in his Metallica sort of muscle vest, ready to, you know.
Is that your sleeveless one?
Yeah.
Yeah, him when he does the thing where he's ripping up the tactics, it kills me every time.
It's hilarious, man. Honestly, I mean, the thing is, I mean, that show I do on a Monday is just grown because of people watching. It's the live comments that we get, you know, like when we started the "Where's Joe Linton" stuff, and then last night it was like, "Who does Steve Bruce look like?" And we were getting sort of, you know, blobfish and people out the Muppets and all sorts of stuff. And it, you know, it's all light-hearted stuff just to cheer people up, you know, and it puts smiles on people's faces, which is what we're there to do, really, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just to know that we're making people laugh and have a good time. You know, once we talk about the drab of the football, then we'll get on to other stuff. You know, it's great.
Yeah, it is good fun. And this is the first of hopefully a long series that me and Carl are doing with the influencer. I know Paul will probably not want to be called that, as I've said that already, but he is influencing other people because he's talked about it already. And we'll get a few more guests on. We'll probably aim to do this once a week or maybe once every 10 games, depending on where we're playing and so on. But Paul, from me and Carl, thank you very much, mate, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It's been great. Absolutely fab. Thanks very much.
About that. There's going to be a link in the description for Paul's channel. It's called the Toon Review. Get over there. Give Paul a subscription. Ta-da, everyone.
Thanks.